Number 4 for me. I know JT and I have discussed this album a lot. From Harlequin, Love Crimes. Got to go with Innocence. It's still to this day. I just love the song. The album's fantastic. Don't know what else I can say about it.
Last night I was walking and I saw you with my friend again. I'm not one for talking, at least I don't try to pretend. Innocence, innocence,
Have that on my list. Actually, I do love that.
Yeah, it's a good song.
I have that on my list.
Yep.
It's because you weren't innocent enough.
That's right. Definitely not. My number 4 song, and I didn't really want to duplicate artists for the 80s because there's so many Canadian artists that I liked from the 80s. Mm-hmm. But of course, it's my boy Bryan Adams, a different album, but again, another great track. It's called Lonely Nights, from his second album, Fits You Good, in 1981.
would you risk your reputation? I don't know. You just don't know what you're saying anymore. You know, baby, skip and choosers and it's fair. Women, baby, losers. I don't care. No, no, no. Oh, baby, just kiss in another lonely night. Come and save me from another lonely night.
Lonely Nights. That is an outstanding song.
He's still very active. I mean, he toured Japan just last month.
Wow.
Yeah, he's all over the place still. I think it was probably quite a few months back, like maybe 6 or 8 months ago, that he was in Kelowna. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was once quoted as saying, guys, that CanCon he felt didn't help him. And I'm just like, what?
Mhm.
I think it did, but
Yeah, not too long ago, I did see an interview with him. I mean, it was an old interview that I saw, but he was quite salty about the whole thing. He did not like it because Waking Up the Neighbors, when he was promoting that album, and it got denied for Canadian content because of Mutt Lange, and it was done in. He's like, I'm still the same Canadian guy that everybody has always supported. So, it's quite unfortunate, but
It's and I think part of that is CanCon helped bands that weren't going to sell in the US anyways.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Bryan Adams, it didn't matter. Like, I mean, sure, it reduced his sales by 2% in Canada.
Yeah.
If it wasn't forced to be played, it was still being requested all the time. It was like Bryan Adams was already a big star like that. But I'd say CanCon really helped the first album, and that song that you mentioned it was one of the great. That album is really underrated, and a lot of people who are Bryan Adams fans haven't heard of it.
It's really underrated. It's underrated.
It's actually the only Bryan Adams album I listen to.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of anything other than that album.
Well, we're going to listen to it later.
I haven't heard either of them, actually.
Okay,
Fits You
we got
Good
plans later.
I came on board for Cuts Like a Knife. That's
Well, and I was surprised is, Randy, when you showed that album, is that when Otto looked at the cover, he didn't say this looks exactly like Rick Springfield, because it does.
Rick's way better looking.
Rick Springfield couldn't carry Bryan Adams' job.
I'm gonna do my own show all on Rick Springfield. Screw you guys.
Well, yeah.
You don't know how to work
You know
the
what?
camera.
I'm gonna have a Rick Springfield, a Night Ranger, and probably a stick show. And no, I'll be the only one on it.
And Platinum Blonde.
No.
I'll do the Platinum Blonde show.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay, number 4. I'm going to Toronto again. Although the lead singer was born in Little Lake, Manitoba, in a mining town, but formed his band there. Became way more famous afterwards than this band. But Red Rider, Lunatic Fringe, from As Far As I Am in 1981. I always felt Red Rider was this really unusual, strange band. Quoted, Neruda was an album where Tom Cochrane was influenced by the poet from Chile, I believe Chile, Pablo Neruda. Just these great haunting lyrics. And for me, Lunatic Fringe is just this song that all the little inconsistencies in Red Rider that existed, where there's these gaps and it doesn't have this great production at times. Lunatic Fringe is all of that goes away. They've got strange guitars, they've got strange Fender lap steels, and great lyrical content, very haunting and memorable, and just a band that there's no one in CanCon that's really like Red Rider, and this is, to me, their best song.
Me too. I would say for me, it's the best Red.
I agree.
Jobber.
Sorry, April Wine, Enough is Enough, from their Power Play album, 1982. Aren't they from Nova Scotia?
Miles is from Nova Scotia. The band was formed in Montreal, I believe.
Okay.
I believe so too.
I think you're right.
At least we're covering a lot of regions here. We at least get some maritime action going. So
yeah,
that's right.
that's coming up, Jobber. Don't worry.
You got Great Big Sea.
I got something even better.
But I mean, it's got a great catchy chorus, good verse. The pre-chorus is perfectly sets up what happens after that. I mean, it's a great platform for that solo in that song, and the drums are really tight too. It's just an overall.
The crazy bald drummer from I forget his name from
right, Jerry Mercer. Yeah,
that was Jerry Mercer. Yeah, and from April Wine. He's just fantastic, and one of my favorite studios, or my favorite studio of all time, is Morin Heights in Le Studio in Morin Heights in the Laurentians near Montreal. And they do I Want to Rock it live in that studio, and they're all pretty amped up, and it's just one of the greatest videos where you've got the sunlight coming in through the Laurentians, and they're in this huge pine studio. And Rush did the same album I was talking about, Signals, there, and they did Moving Pictures there. A lot of great albums have been recorded at Morin Heights, and April Wine with Jerry Mercer and the bald drummer kind of gives it, and they're playing the old twisty hockey game. I forget, but just very Canadiana.
Yeah, love it.
Nice.
Pops.
Good choice.
Okay, so my number 4 is an Italian immigrant who relocated to Montreal. His real name was Aldo Cara. I'm going to say this wrong. Caraupsco.
I think that's how it's pronounced. Pretty sure.
We have to talk quietly, because if my wife hears that, she's running in to tell you he's the greatest guy in Canadian rock history.
Aldo Nova, 1982, self-titled album, Fantasy.
City nights, summer breeze make you feel alright. Neon lights shining brightly make a rainy night. See the girls with the dresses so tight. Give you love if the price is right. Black or white in the streets, there's a wrong or no right.
It was kind of that same era for Bon for me. I always think of Bon Jovi and Aldo in the same kind of vein for some reason. I think that if Aldo happened to be from the States, he probably would have been a hell of a lot more famous than he was. Great songs, great guitar, great riffs. Love this song. This is like an anthem for me growing up. And it's not my favorite Aldo album either. It's my second favorite Aldo album, but that song, I like Twitch. I like Twitch a lot. That it's just kind of leaned on.
Yeah. I mean, when you're dressed in high heels, a leopard skin bodysuit, and your Les Paul turns into a laser where you bust open a warehouse as a paramilitary group, and then you rock the house down with a song called Life is Just a Fantasy that destroys all the illusions of the 80s and the 70s of drugs and everything else. It's one of my favorite videos of all time.
Can't you see what this crazy life is doing to me? Life is just a fantasy. Can you let this fantasy lie? Life is just a fantasy. Can you let this fantasy lie?
Not to mention the beginning of the song, if you listen to it, reminds me of playing pinball at Wizards. If you it's got that real kind of pinball feel.
Yeah.
AKA the hole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Classic.
Sure.
Amazing. Amazing song.
She's saying everything, pretty words, cover lies. She don't care